Coming up this week on the Nintendo Directors Podcast, we discuss rumors of possible Nintendo Switch hardware revisions, determine our top 5 Mario power-ups of all time, do a retrospective review of the sublime soundtrack from Super Mario Galaxy, and more.
Hi, I'm Mark.
And I'm Brad.
We're two middle school band directors.
And you're listening to
Nintendo Directors.
Hello, greetings, and welcome once again to another Nintendo Directors podcast. This is episode number 3033. We've been doing this for a long time. The date is October 18th of the year 2018. We are currently recording on Sunday, October 14th. We tell you that just in case any great news breaks in between now and then and you don't think we're way out of touch with what's going on. But by the way, my name is Mark Lago. I'm here with my co-host, Brad Beyer.
Greetings.
And if this is your first time listening, we are the Nintendo Directors. We are in charge of the entire company. That's not true, although a Google search might confuse you with that one. But we are in every other
They should make
week.
us in charge of the whole company.
They should. We are good at doing things. But
we would release all the right games.
Yes, we would. All of the ones that we love.
That's
Pre-approved
right.
as awesome by us. But we are an every other week podcast, and it's created by us. We're two band directors, and we love everything Nintendo. Almost everything Nintendo. And I would say almost everything.
A lot, most of the things.
Great, yeah.
Yeah.
So we wave sticks at kids for a living and by day and save the world by night. And on our show, we give the impressions of the most noteworthy, pun definitely intended,
Very nice.
Nintendo news and game releases. We do deep dives into video game soundtracks, wax nostalgic about our favorite games from the past, and so much more.
Much.
And you know, we often begin an episode by saying how great the episode is, and usually we're lying, but this one is going to be great.
It's going to be pretty great.
Yeah. The fact that we get to really go deep into Super Mario Galaxy's soundtrack is just exciting, because that soundtrack, if you don't like it, you're weird.
Wrong.
Yeah, you're wrong, because it's so good. So we hit on that, and that'll be right at the end of the episode. We get to talk about some pretty cool new games we've been playing, and lots more. But anyways, if you want to look for us, you can find us on basically everything that does podcasts. Please go review us on iTunes if you haven't done so already. You can write in and be a part of the show at nintendodirectorspodcast@gmail.com. And just a reminder that we do post our episodes usually on Thursdays at 9 a.m., every other Thursday at 9 a.m., give or take, within that hour. So, but anyways, let's get on with the show. So
let's do it.
Okay, on with the news. The news this week is brought to you by. We said this last time, but that's okay.
We did.
There's a reason why we're doing it again. The news is brought to you by perhaps you.
Maybe.
Because you could be our first sponsor and fill this void when we launch our Patreon sometime in the next month or so, although let's say in the next week or so. So we shot a fun little video. Yeah, we shot a fun little video, and that'll be posting sometime soon, within the next week. And so we would love if you would join our Patreon page. It's just a great way. Think of it like an online tip jar. If you've been a faithful listener, we'd love if you'd be willing to contribute $1 or $2 every month to help keep this show going. So
that'd be awesome.
That would be fantastic of you. We would even be willing to entertain the thought of having you guest a host on this show. That would be a lot of fun. So So check that out. Keep your eyes peeled for that to post. But let's get on to the news now. So, Brad, why don't you take it away?
Wow. Yes, let's do it. So the first big story on the thing is not confirmed, but it is a rumor of sorts. It's unofficial, but it is somewhat inevitable as well. This is new possible versions of the Switch, possibly even coming in 2019. This is from IGN. Quote, Nintendo is planning to release a new version of the Switch to maintain the console's sales momentum, according to a new report from the Wall Street Journal. The unofficial report cites suppliers with, quote, others with direct knowledge of the plan as sources. The Wall Street Journal Wall Street Journal Japan sources reportedly told the publication that there are active discussions about new hardware and software functions and the cost to implement them, including upgrading the system's, quote, low-end LCD display. And the sources also indicated that the new Switch could arrive in the second half of 2019 and perhaps as early in the Northern Hemisphere summer. So, there's two sides to this, I think. Number one, duh. Of course, it's going to happen. Number two, it always gets me excited when we're talking about new hardware. For the most part, as long as it's not like, 2 weeks after you bought it.
Right. And I don't want to see them do what they did and maybe I'm wrong, but my understanding with 3DS is there are some games that only work with new 3DS. Correct?
There's like 2.
Yeah. So I just hope
that never really took off. Yeah.
Yeah. I hope they don't, try to, force you into buying the new one. But, I mean, also I heard that as well earlier when I first read this rumor about possibility of upgrading the screen. I think the display is fine personally, but I get why they would want to maybe get up to 1080. But there's no way they're doing OLED. That's
goodness no.
That I mean, you'd be looking at an $800 Switch or more.
That is so not Nintendo.
Right.
But if you think of it, I mean, there's some things you could, just having the. I don't know, because I was listening.
Bluetooth. It needs to have Bluetooth capabilities. That's
Bluetooth for like headphones or something.
Yep.
That definitely would be a nice feature. Maybe upgrading the screen a little bit, but they are absolutely not going to make it so exclusive that they're going to fragment their market. Right. They're only 2 years in, not even 2 years into this, and that would be a huge mistake on their part. And I think they understand that. My guess is, unlike the new 3DS didn't technically split the market outside of those like 2 games, but there were some, for instance, like if you played the Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask remake on the 3DS, the new 3DS, because it had that extra little thumbstick, gave you the ability to do 360 rotation of the camera, full 360 as opposed to just using the buttons and whatnot,
right?
Or using the camera toggle thing. So things like that wouldn't split the market. But they're still fun little features to add. So I don't know exactly what they're gonna necessarily do to this. There was one, I think it was the NVC guys were talking about how they're probably not gonna be making the system any like thinner, or at least it would be difficult to do so because the Joy-Cons. The Joy-Cons are so standardized with the size that they have, so that would make it difficult. But just some. Maybe the ergonomics of it a little bit could be changed. I don't even know.
I think the Joy-Cons feel good though, but
you think so? Okay.
Yeah,
I guess, and we don't want to change the Joy-Cons because they're pretty. People have bought a lot of Joy-Cons at this point.
Right.
But man, what else? Outside, they're probably going to bump up the processor a little bit, maybe.
Yeah, I would think so.
Because there was already reports the Switch is built off of the Tegra 1 processor, at which there was already the Tegra 2 processor that was released even before the Switch came out.
Yep.
So there's that. What else do you think might possibly?
I think they're going to upgrade the kickstand.
Oh,
I mean,
that'd be a good thing.
Yeah, because that one is. Honestly, that's the one thing about the Switch that I'm like, yeah, that's pretty terrible. I don't like it.
Right.
What I'd like to see them do is bring back in the old crowd and make it a true tripod like the Virtua Boy. That extends down from the bottom and makes it really wobbly.
Yes. That's how it should go.
No, but I think a definite upgrade on the kickstand is in order. I'm not sure why it's not on both sides for stability. I don't know what is preventing them from putting it on both sides. If it's a hardware issue on the inside, like they just couldn't put it there. But
sorry, what piece are you talking about?
The kickstand on the Switch.
Kickstand, yeah.
I mean, I wish it was on both sides because it is pretty flimsy. But
it could be, yeah. they'll throw a vitality sensor in the box.
Oh, please, yes.
Yeah.
Finally. Oh, we've been waiting.
Yes. That's what it is. I just figured it out.
Yeah, there we are. It's just a switch with a vitality sensor.
Right. So. Or maybe they'll, like, on the surface of the switch where the share button or the home button are, they'll just add another button that's, scans your fingerprint or whatever it is, like the vitality sensor would.
Yeah. Or better yet, let's just get an entire blood pressure cuff. Like, let's go full on just
that plugs right into the back. Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So it's their, what was there?
With an optional 25-foot cord for when you're playing in TV mode.
Yeah.
So that you're...
Yep, so it can still squeeze your arm to a vice death grip.
Right.
And,
right.
I mean, what was that called? Their Blue Ocean or whatever they called it.
The Blue Ocean strategy?
Yeah. So now they're finally going to fulfill that. And, yeah. Blood pressure cuff and, yeah.
That vitality sensor. Perfect.
Cool.
We killed it.
Yep.
All right, moving on here. So we've talked about lots of the story. Last episode, we talked about the sad story of Telltale Games closing down very suddenly, and it was very sad. But there was many talks almost immediately of what the heck is going to happen to The Walking Dead, the final season of The Walking Dead. Well, it looks like, according to this report again via IGN, The Walking Dead, the final season will be released. Thanks to the Skybound, the company that I believe it's the one who they it's like Robert Kirkman's own business about his comic, right? Or like Things Walking Dead.
I think so.
Right?
Yeah. Yep.
That makes sense. And so they basically announced that he says, quote, we've successfully negotiated with Telltale Games for our company Skybound to come in and see Season 4 of the Telltale game to completion, Kirkman said. And then according to the statement from Skybound, the company has taken ownership of Telltale's The Walking Dead, the final season, and will finish the season. Skybound will work with members of the original Telltale team to finish the story in a way that fans deserve. Skybound will continue to update fans on the status of the game on Skybound.com, Twitter, and Facebook. What do you think?
Well, I mean, excuse me. I think that's great that they're actually going to do it. I hope that it's not ham-fisted and, just, just get it out there. I hope that's not what it is.
Right. And I think it does sound like they are going to be, your microphone is crackling quite a bit there.
If it is, it would be the onboard one, not the one recording the podcast.
Okay,
so.
Good to know. So... What was I saying? So they're gonna work with several of the developers from Telltale who already kind of have a foot in the ground on that. Assuming, that's the game plan anyway. If I was a person who worked for Telltale Games, I might, outside of the fact that I need to pay rent, have a hard time coming back and trying to do that after the emotional roller coaster that I'd been through. Yeah. That would be difficult.
I wonder if there's just going to be no way to win the game. Like, their sour attitude just like, well,
right.
Every choice you make leads to death.
Oh, dear.
It's a one-choice game.
Well, that first game didn't really leave you a whole lot of options either.
That's true, yeah. Yep.
The Walking Dead, not necessarily supposed to be a
uplifting game?
A lifetime story,
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. It's a good cuddle up children's story,
right.
Yeah, no, but I'm glad that they're going to see it through because there are so many people that have been faithfully getting each iteration of this, so that's good that it'll be seen through to the end. So
yeah, and it's just a couple of those, a couple episodes, and I think they have to clearly already have at least a good sketch of what the script is and many of the features. Because the second episode just released like a week or two ago, and you have to believe that from day one of hey, we're going to make the final season, whatever. They're already working on all of that stuff, and first, at most the episodes would probably, I think in Telltale's history, they've been a month or two apart. So
right.
They've got to have so much in the works already to make that happen. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
But anyway, so that's good news. I guess assuming they're taking care of taking care of at least some of the employees, to finish that out, give them a little buffer of time to be looking for other jobs or whatever. But the sad thing, of course, is that there were probably people who already found different jobs or have moved on or just say, heck with you, I'm not going back into that building now. Like,
right.
Who were probably very instrumental in what's currently in progress. So I'll be interested to see how that pans out over the coming months.
Yep, I agree.
So.
All right. Next news item. This one's pretty exciting, and I know that you're excited for this one. Yeah, because I played the first one over halfway through. For some reason, I stopped, and I don't know why, but it was really good. But Guacamelee is out on the Switch today, and Guacamelee 2 is coming in December.
So excited for this. So I honestly, when somebody had posted on the Nintendo Voice Chat Facebook forums this article of that Guacamelee was coming out, and that day, basically, they kind of stealth released it, like, in the middle of just a random day. Hey, there it is.
Yeah.
And then they announced that Guacamelee 2 was coming. I thought the announcement was, I misread it when I first saw it, and I thought the announcement was stealth release of Guacamelee 2 on Switch. And I was like, oh man, I cannot wait until I get home. I'm so excited.
Looks like I'm calling in sick tomorrow.
Well, because, I have been over my story of Guacamelee, the original Guacamelee, several times on this show already, of how I thought it was going to be so dumb and hated the aesthetic and all that, and then started playing it and just could not stop, and just loved it to death.
Yep.
And then was so excited when I heard about the sequel that was coming to PlayStation. And I was like, oh, no, I have a PlayStation, I know, but I want to play it on my Switch, like,
right, Right.
And so I was like, I gotta imagine someday it's gonna come. I just hope it's sooner than later. And then I saw this and I was like, yeah, that's how it needs to be. So
that's a great kind of game for on the go playing as well.
Exactly, it's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, that because you can do one or two screens.
Yep. Exactly.
And just kind of move out. Mini challenges, mini platforming challenges that are like that. So I can't wait for this. I'm not gonna buy the original again because I played that on PlayStation, and at least I started it on Wii U at one point. I think I got it in a bundle at some point, but yeah.
Yeah, that's right. There was a humble Nindy bundle that I got that with. That's right.
Yeah,
it was like $8, and I got a bunch of really good games. And like what was it? Shantae. That one. That's a great game. I got another one. I can't remember what it was. But I played all
Affordable Space Adventures, I think.
Yeah, I played part of that one. That's interesting. That's one that I would have loved had I been younger and had more time to dive into it. Guacamelee. Yeah, that's right. Guacamelee I got into. I remember it was on a Christmas break, and that's why I stopped, just because school started back up, and then I just got too busy. But that's a really good game. So that's awesome. Guacamelee 2 coming in, of all months, December. So maybe that'll be my Christmas break coming up here this year. So,
except that Smash is also coming out that month.
Well, there's that.
There's that. Oh well. So I'm very, very excited about that. But
sweet.
Anyway, it's a kind of slow news week.
It is,
and
that's okay.
We've only got one more story. That's okay. And this isn't really even a news story, other than the fact that more games, more free games came out for the Nintendo Online service, including NES Open. I almost said Super Dodgeball. It's just Dodgeball.
Yeah, Dodgeball.
And Solomon's Key, and a surprise that was not announced before, Zelda SP, which we'll get into in just a minute. Before we get to that, though, let's think about the other games first.
Okay.
NES Open, Dodgeball, and Solomon's Key. Did you play any of those?
I haven't played any of those three yet. I don't think I'll play NES Open again. That was old golf games for me are hard to play now.
Sure.
I liked NES Open when I was a kid. I don't think I could do it now, but Dodgeball I absolutely could do.
Really? Okay.
That game. Have you ever played Dodgeball?
The game?
Yeah, on the NES.
So I played about 5 minutes of it when it released just now,
okay.
A few days ago. And that. I need help. I'm not good at it. I don't. I just need to spend more time with it. I'm bad at it.
Okay.
But yeah,
it is part of the Kune how do you say it? Kunio-kun series from Technos in Japan, which I'm trying to confirm this. I am almost certain that it's Yeah. That which includes Renegade and of all other games, River City Ransom, which is fantastic. It's a series of games that features like essentially the same group of like high school kids, like young kids in this like city or whatever. And so yeah, I think I thought it was just called Super Dodgeball. I don't know if maybe it is. I mean, I'm thinking of the wrong thing, but.
See, in the one I played, it looked like they were just kind of nondescript white and slightly non-white characters.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. But that game is like you get really great power up. Like it's got. Did you ever play Super Spike V-Ball?
Oh yeah, that was great.
So you're gonna get like really great power moves that just obliterate your opponent, just like Super Spike V-Ball. It's a great game. So Dodgeball, I'm really excited that's on Switch Online, NES Online. What I hope is that you could play that online against people. That would be really cool. I don't know if you can.
I think you can. But of course, it's the same limitation as other things. You can only play with your friends.
Yeah, but that's great though. That game was so good. And Solomon's Key is not one that I'm good at, and it's really hard. And it just throws you in, and you don't really understand what you're doing at first.
Mm-hmm.
But I do know someone who's fantastic at that game, Steve Poissant from Super Guitar Bros, who we mentioned them later in the episode, but he was Twitch streaming, I think he was, like speed runs of it a while ago and trying to get really good at it. He got really good at that game. So
wow,
that's a hard one.
I played a level or two of that. Just even by the second level or so, it was pretty difficult. Yeah, but I like the mechanics of it. It's just the enemies. The enemies are fast and they're difficult to avoid. But
yes, they are.
But it's kind of a puzzle game too, because you're trying to you gotta, depending on which way you push your up or down to erase or create blocks and stuff. It's interesting.
Yeah,
I gotta spend some more time with that for sure. As far as NES Open goes, it's another one where I just need help. And I don't know why. I'm sure that I could just look it up online, but for about probably 5 minutes, I was playing that game, and I could not get a ball to go more than 2 yards. And it was because I would watch the meter, and when I hit it, boom, I would nail it right in the white.
Yeah.
And then it would go 6 yards. And I'm like, what did I do wrong? Did I need to push it again, or I don't know.
You tap it when the meter goes all the way to one end, and then you have to tap it again once it's right in the middle.
Oh, you got to hit it on the left end as it's going first.
You got to that establishes the power, and then hitting it as close to that center arrow or whatever it is determines your accuracy.
Well, I was very accurate.
So, yeah,
2 yards.
I placed that ball perfectly where I wanted. Did you see how I didn't swing for power?
Yeah, my 2-year-old swing.
Yeah.
Okay, well that makes a lot more sense. That's I felt so stupid playing that. I was like, what am I doing wrong?
A lot of those
I played a
old
lot of video
like
games. All right, I played a lot of video games. I should know how to hit the ball more than 2 feet.
The thing is that if you were hitting it 2 feet, that's one of the few instances in a golf game where I would be better in real life than because I'm terrible at golf. I'm really bad in real life at that. But
oh dear.
So, anyways, and then there was one other game that was released, and this was called Zelda Lame version. No, I played it. What is Zelda SP? What is the SP?
Legend of Zelda SP. I think it just means special.
Is it? It sure is, isn't it? Yeah, the special version. Man, I don't know. I played it and I was like, oh, I have max rupees already. 255. Cool. Oh, and I have the blue ring or the white armor already, and I have the white sword. Okay, yep. And all of the items. This is so easy. And I don't know. I guess it's fine. But I don't know. I love being able to go in and get the wooden sword and thwack away at someone with enemies with what's essentially a fern cutter. I love that aspect of it. So whatever.
Okay, I gotta be honest, I haven't actually tried this yet, but I'm actually pretty excited to try it because I am a big baby and NES games are hard.
They are.
And I don't like dying. So even though you can kind of abuse the games anyway because of save states, I still this idea appeals to me because I know for myself, I know I've beaten the original Legend of Zelda as it was meant to be done originally, but this is straight from Nintendo. Like, this is not just, this is trying to make it more accessible either for people who have never played it before or maybe people like me who like the game and they want to experience it again, but they hate dying over and over again, or if I don't really like. I've still got 300 more Korok seeds to find in Breath of the Wild. I don't want to spend time trying to find heart pieces in the original Legend of Zelda right now.
Yeah, but when I beat Zelda growing up, I walked uphill both ways in the snow. So
did you now?
Now, so I think everyone
There's
should
no
have to do
snow
that.
level in that game.
Get off my lawn.
Get off my bushes.
Yes, yeah. So, all right.
I'll throw you to the ogres.
Yeah.
The moblins.
All right, so that's the news. Like we said, kind of a slow news week, but this episode, as we did mention earlier, sometimes we lie and say that the episodes are good, but this one really is good because we're about to get into some really cool top 5 debate, and then we still got our Mario Galaxy soundtrack review coming up and what we've been playing. So stick around. Here's next up is going to be our top 5 Super Mario power-ups. All right, we're back with our top 5 list, and we are, again, doing the top 5 Super Mario power-ups. I'm going to start really quick and just fire off my honorable mentions here. For me, I was kind of torn on a couple of these, but I'm just going to run right through them really quick. I chose the flying squirrel. I like calling it the wombat. I don't know why, but it's the flying squirrel. You got the acorn. That was from New Super Mario U.
Yeah.
I love the feather in Super Mario World and using the cape and being able to just fly through a whole level once you got that rhythm down of hitting the L button, that was a great feeling. And I chose the penguin.
Never got it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I chose the penguin suit from Super Mario U as well. That one is so good. You can swim better. You get better traction on the snow. You get to shoot ice balls. You can slide down, slopes of ice. It's on your belly. It's cute and it's awesome. It's very powerful. I love that suit. But and then I chose the mini mushroom from the original New Super Mario Brothers from the DS. I almost chose the mega mushroom, but I was like, I'm going to choose one or the other. And the mini mushroom, the floaty physics of it and everything, it was great. So those are my honorable mentions.
All right. So, I mean, I guess maybe just by way of introduction, obviously we kind of jumped right in here, which is fine. But, Mario power-ups have been around since forever, since the beginning, really. And they really, I mean, I guess they were power-ups in other games before, but the uniqueness of power-ups that Mario brings to the table is pretty incredible and has been, consistently throughout the history. And obviously something like Mario Odyssey sort of took that to a new level of making that like the mechanic of the whole game, essentially, is being able to get all these different powers from different objects around you. But it's just kind of a cool legacy that I think this series has. And so, there's a lot of great ones. And some of the great ones include my honorable mentions, such as the classic Invincibility Star right from the beginning. Mostly because of the music, just because it's so happy and it's, you're invincible, so it's pretty cool. And you look.
It is the only power-up with its own theme song, isn't it?
I think you're right, yeah.
Unless you count like adding drums in the background with Yoshi. But that's just adding bongos.
Yeah. Wait, adding drums?
Yeah, in like Super Mario World, anytime you got Yoshi, there would be an extra percussion track.
Oh,
right. So.
Gotcha. Yeah, so the Invincibility Star is pretty great. And of course, the classic Fireball Mario.
Yeah.
So useful in so many situations. And yeah, just really great. So I would say those are my honorable mentions.
And they're much more stingy with Fireball Mario of late. And I like getting Fire Flower in the later games. You can just torch things. It's great, but
right.
They made it a more powerful power-up too. So
for sure.
And speaking of Mario 1, like the need for a power up, the way that game was laid out was just genius and taught you how to play the game within the game. That it was its own tutorial that didn't feel like a tutorial. And it hit me while I was going to the bathroom of all things this week that I was like, you know what? I don't. If you're like thinking of like the Red Baron and all the like ace fighter pilots back in the day, and they would put stickers on their, or not stickers, like paintings, like little check marks or whatever for how many kills they got, how many planes they took down. That first Goomba in the first Mario would have run out of ink a long time ago with the number of like Marios that Goomba has killed. I don't think there's another villain in all video games that has killed more people than that first Goomba. But
very possibly, yeah.
He is just tenacious. Anyways, all right. So let's get into our top 5 then. My number 5 is a really fun one from Mario Galaxy, the bee mushroom that turned Mario into a bee with a little cute stinger on his bottom. It was so cute, and he could fly a little bit.
Why didn't we get to use the stinger, Mark?
I know. I was kind of bummed about that. So bummed on his bum. Yeah, okay. I was bummed about that. But yeah, being able to just kind of fly and like and the way he flew, kind of like topsy turvy a little bit.
Yeah.
It was adorable and awesome. And then climbing on the honeycomb and everything. Great power up. I loved getting the bee mushroom suit. So that's my number 5.
Fantastic music in those worlds too.
Oh yeah.
Well, we'll get to that later.
We'll
talk about that. So yeah, bee mushroom, fantastic, excellent pick. I didn't put that in mine, but I did like that one. Okay, so my number 5 is actually the hammer suit, which has not been seen all that often. I believe it was in Super Mario Galaxy 2. You could get a hammer or a hammer paratroopa Hammer Brothers suit, I guess. Or no, was it that one? Or, that was Odyssey. Maybe both. No. It was in Galaxy 2. That was the one where you could throw the boomerangs.
Yep.
In Odyssey, you could throw the Hammer Bros. That's right, because it was in the soup level with with all the cheese.
Yep.
Which is a hilarious statement. So yeah, when you get that, you get that suit on, and you're like trying to free up some stairs so that you can walk on them. So you throw hammers like crazy, and it's weird, but it's great.
Beautiful chaos.
It's beautiful chaos. He throws so many hammers. And yet there's still some strategy to it. Like you actually have the arcs that the Hammer Brothers have to deal with. And so you kind of have to move and set yourself up properly. And I just think that's cool. And actually there's somewhat of a theme for some of these power-ups for me anyway. Why I like them, just because they add an element of strategy or an element of just planning that you have to do, but like how their powers work. It's pretty neat. It's not just carte blanche, like, death and destruction of everything. It's cool, except the invincibility.
Yeah,
which is whatever.
That's exactly what it is.
That's exactly what that is. Yeah.
So sweet. My number 4 is actually your number 5, the hammer suit. But I was thinking more of Super Mario Brothers 3 because it was so rare, and you could get it in Mario 3. And
that's right.
And you felt so strong and powerful having the hammer suit in Mario 3. It crushed you when you would get hit by something and you would lose it.
Exactly.
So the hammer suit has long been one of my favorites, and I'm glad that you mentioned the Odyssey version of it because I didn't even consider that. But yeah, that's been a long-standing, excellent power-up, and so the hammer suit's my number 4.
Awesome. So my number 4 is also on your list too. This is Karibo's shoe. This is such an iconic thing.
Goomba sock.
The Goomba sock. Yeah, whatever you want to call it. And the only thing that it really does is protect you from those chompy flower things, right?
Yep.
That's it. But it looks so cool.
It does.
And it's really only in Mario 3, right? Did it ever show?
And Mario Maker.
Oh, right. Yeah, and it's just so iconic. Everybody knows it. Nobody, like, even tonight I had to ask you, what's the name of that shoe thing? Like, nobody actually knows what that thing is called. It's just
I did.
It's just
I did.
You did. Okay. It's
Most
just this. Most people see it and they know what it is.
Yeah.
But they have no idea what it's called or yeah. So again, for me, it's really just about how cool it looks and Yeah, that's really it. I mean, the functionality, I guess, the way it jumps kind of along the ground is kind of cool, but it's an aesthetic thing for me completely at this point.
Yeah. Okay. I agree. I agree on that one. That shows up in my list here in a minute. So, yeah.
Awesome.
Sweet. All right. Our my number 3 is one that is going to be on your list as well. I'm noticing a theme here. Yeah. But this is the Tanuki suit, and the Tanuki suit is the first appearance was in Mario 3. I've got a few here from Mario 3. But
because it's the best Mario.
It's so good. It
2D
is
Mario.
so good. Mario World will have some arguments with you on that one, but I can't argue against it. So Mario 3 is so good. But yeah, the Tanuki suit and being able to turn into the statue, be able to fly, that's another one where it pained you to get like physically like real pain when you would get hit and you'd lose that one. Yeah, it's just like because you can only get it in World 5 if I recall. Which is the one where you go up the tower up into the clouds. I don't think you can get it anywhere else other than World 5. Feel free to correct us if we're wrong on that. But that's the Tanuki suit was fantastic. And I was a little disturbed later on in life to find out that it's not a tail on the Tanuki suit, but it's actually a part of I'll just say it's a part of the male anatomy. If you've ever read about Tanukis, and it's like part of Japanese culture. It's just like a normal thing, and it's like a welcomed amongst kids. Like oh yeah, that's just what it is. It's like well, and yeah, but the Tanuki are magical creatures in Japan, and but the Tanuki suit is just so cool to get in that game. So.
Yeah, so I mean, that's mine as well. Being able to turn into the statue just looks so cool.
Oh man,
I'm assuming, is there something to do with the lore of that in Japanese thing, like about turning into a statue? I don't even know. Or is that just
the Tanuki could turn into pretty much anything, like
okay,
with its tail, we'll call it, and
right.
But yeah, they were just like these. My understanding is they were like protectors of people and like really good guys. So
okay, so a golden statue standing there, not
I
mean, or sneaking, surprise your enemies as they try to sneak up.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, just there's that, and because basically the leaf in Super Mario Bros. 3 was essentially the same suit, right? It's minus the
cuteness.
Statue. Yeah, the cute statue, the statue power. But like, so that of course adds, you have to learn the skill of getting enough run speed so that you can jump and fly, and then controlling that, or even just using the floating power of it when you're not flying to go over small distances and stuff.
Huge advantage, yeah.
Yeah, and so it's really neat. And then you could like use the tail to break bricks. So you could break a brick like 2 bricks up or something, rather than having to be underneath it,
right?
For everything. And so there was definitely some strategy that went into that. And so I think that's a really neat feature when you have multiple uses for the same thing.
Yeah,
it's just good design.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely. So on to number 2. My number 2 is Karibo's shoe. The Goomba sock, so the Goomba boot. It makes another appearance, and again, it's amazing how it's so widely recognized, and it's only in one level. It's in World 5, just like the Tanuki. Like in World 5 of Mario 3, they just poured all this like creativity. It's kind of like I wonder if that was, now that I'm thinking about it, I wonder if that was the impetus for Mario 3D World, where there were so many like
Tanuki
mechanics.
Came back.
Yeah, and there were so many mechanics in that were just one level specific, and then it's like, we're never going to revisit that again. I hope you liked it because it was really great, but we're never doing that again. So,
well, that generally is a pretty Nintendo philosophy, and specifically Mario philosophy in general.
Yeah,
they did that a lot, especially in the later 2D games.
Yeah, that's true.
Classic examples like the Starry Night.
Yeah, Starry Night
level. And or even back to Yoshi's Island.
That's true.
Touch fuzzy, get dizzy.
Yep.
So I think that's a kind of a Nintendo thing. But yeah, specifically with those power ups, two completely unique power ups in one world is pretty interesting.
Yeah, and then Karibo's shoe only being in one level, but like you said, you can what it gave you was the ability to walk on those little chompy plants. And that was great.
Yeah.
And then you couldn't run at the right speed to get the star card guaranteed at the end of the level. I actually just randomly posted a video of me getting Karibo's shoe on Facebook earlier this week, and I just called it the saddest moment in gaming, because it was a double whammy of having 2 star cards already saved up in Mario 3, knowing that I'm not going to be able to get the 3rd star card with this jump, and then I'm going to lose Karibo's shoe at the end of the level. And sure enough, bam, got a flower or a mushroom or something, and I only got a 1-up, and I lost Karibo's shoe. And it's like, I never wanted to end that level as a kid, and I didn't want to this week either. So anyways,
that's hilarious.
So yeah, that's my number 2, Karibo's shoe.
Awesome. My number 2 is one I almost forgot about, but we were talking about when we were doing the review for Mario Galaxy. It reminded me of I think that just kind of brought it to mind today. The spring suit. This first came out in the original Mario Galaxy, and I know that some people would probably be like, the spring suit, oh man, that thing was so hard to control, and it was so why would you ever put that toward the top of your lips?
But
very
fun.
wonky, but that's what I loved about it. There was a finesse to being able to control that thing, and sorry. Your screen just froze on the iPad, Mark, and it's like this great grin right now. Sorry, we should see if we can reset the connection.
That's not a freeze. That's just me right now, because you're talking about the spring Mario, and it's awesome.
Okay, yeah, but the strategy of it and the way you had to use just nudge the controller just slightly this way or that way, and then build up your bounce. And to get up to these really highest portions, and it just felt really cool, and the way it animated itself was really special. Also, I don't know how it works that Mario was actually in that without getting crushed completely, but I will go with it. Just really inventive and really creative. I liked it a lot. It was one of many great power-ups in the Galaxy games.
Yeah, definitely. And this is the point where we get to our number 1, and you get to find out that we left off your favorite power-up. And feel free to write in and tell us how upset you are with us, and we won't listen to you because our list is right and yours is wrong, but that's okay. That's not necessarily true. We may actually, because you may mention the Frog Suit Mario, which I left off because I included Penguin Mario, which swims well, but it's also functional on the ground. And Frog Mario was just awful on anything other than being in the water. But in the water, it was amazing.
Right.
But that
until you got hit with a fish.
Yeah. Yep.
And then you lost after 3 seconds.
Oh, so frustrating. So it is not on my list, but my number 1 is the best one ever because it's Cat Mario. Yeah. Meow.
You're one of those people.
Oh, man. Cat Mario was so great. I loved Cat Mario. That needs to be in every Mario game going forward.
Disagree.
Oh, man. To be able to claw the enemies, to be able to climb to the top of the flagpole and get in top of the flagpole.
Climbing to the top was pretty cool.
It was amazing. Cool. And I loved climbing the walls. It was such a fun power-up and super cute. And my kids loved it, and my wife loved it. And it was like, all right, let's just play Mario 3D World. And anytime you get Cat, it was great. So,
or like Luke was telling us, playing Mario Cats.
Yeah. Oh,
that's
man.
Good.
I love Cat Mario. So that's my number 1.
Okay. The best Mario power-up in
Mario.
the history of Mario power-ups is not Cat Mario. It is the Double Cherry. And let me tell you why it is the Double Cherry. The Double Cherry changes levels completely because it gives you a whole new challenge. It takes it to a whole new level. Essentially what it does, of course, is it splits you into 2 people. But then if you find another cherry, you split into 3 people. 3 Marios or whatever. And then you find another one. You can split into 4. And what the game does is it gives you different challenges to, if you want to get to the end of the level, you can do it with 2 or 1 maybe. But if you want to get all the special things and do all the extra cool stuff, you have to get, say, 6 Marios onto this one platform before it'll move or something. And this happened, I think it was it introduced in 3D World?
Pretty sure.
Or was it?
In
yeah.
Toad Treasure Tracker as well.
Okay, yeah. So, yeah, and it came up in 3D World, and that, I think, was one of the most brilliant things that game did, period. Because, obviously, it gets chaotic very quickly in these double cherry worlds when you're juggling around 2, 3, 4, sometimes 5 Marios at a time, and you have to go up on platforms, but you have to get everyone to get on the platform.
Right.
And so if you lose one, you can choose to come, bring everyone back down and try to grab them again. Excuse me, or go back up, or go down, grab it, and try it again. Kind of like trying to move Pikmin. But it even though it was occasionally like challenging, I wouldn't say that it was frustrating necessarily. I thought it was a cool,
I agree.
Creative challenge, and then I think it was implemented extremely well for high level play. So yeah, I think the Double Cherry really added a new element to that game that was already, it was already a multiplayer focused game, so you already had 4 people on stage. But if you had 4 people playing and all of you guys were dealing with double cherries, that was true madness.
It was awesome.
Just amazing. So I think the strategy element of it is awesome. I think just the look of it is crazy, and it was just a cool way to up the ante.
And I did just hear your cat in the background.
Hope's here.
Yep, put in a vote for Cat Mario, so that's great. but Double Cherry was super fun. I'm looking back at our list. I find, because we both just like kind of came up with this on the spot without any like talking about it, and we picked a lot of Mario 3, and 3D World topped both of our lists. But
that's true. We considered. I guess I didn't put this on. Cloud Mario was great from Super Mario Galaxy 2.
I like Rock Mario.
Oh yeah, Rock Mario. That's some cool levels. Very frustrating levels too. But
yeah.
But yeah, just.
I loved throwing Cappy onto the bullet bills. Like that was super fun.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean,
trying to get.
Yeah.
Odyssey had a lot of great ideas with that too. For sure.
So
sure.
Maybe we should have just said Cappy is the best power up.
Yeah.
That's cheating though, a
little bit.
All right, cool. Well, that's our top 5.
There you have it, folks.
The definitive top 5 lists of top 5 Mario power-ups. But next up is a pretty quick segment of what we've been playing, and then we'll get into our Mario Galaxy soundtrack review. But next up, what we've been playing. All right, we're back with what we've been playing. I'll take the lead on this one. For me, I've been playing more Octopath Traveler, although with Marching Band season in full swing, I haven't been playing too much, but I probably got another hour into Octopath, which is kind of sad. Over the course of 2 weeks, I think I've played about 2 hours total of the Switch. That's probably an exaggeration, maybe an hour and a half. But so I played about an hour of Octopath, and then I dipped my toes into 2 other games that are both free to play, or at least free to start. I don't know. I didn't dig too far into them, but I tried Arena of Valor, which is a MOBA that just came out recently. It felt
very, very obtuse.
It felt very cookie cutter and like, I don't know. Within like 20 minutes, 15 minutes or so, I was like, okay, all right, moving on. I mean, I've dabbled in League of Legends.
Okay.
It just felt like a small team trying to replicate League of Legends, and I don't know.
See, I heard that game is like massive in China.
Maybe it is. I don't know. I was not impressed with the look of it. I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe it's great, but I'm not going to give it another chance. I just don't have time to. So I've got enough other games.
Well, MOBAs don't really interest me anyway. So
okay. I like it is pretty. I like the idea of just like you can pay to decorate, but you'll be as good as you will be. I like that kind of idea for a game, but whatever. So that wasn't my thing. I also tried Paladins, which is a team-based shooter, kind of like an Overwatch or whatever, and that one seemed really lame. I played one match all the way through, and I was verifiably terrible at it. but I was also definitely the best one playing. I was like, okay, this is stupid. So
on Switch anyway.
Yeah, on Switch. So I mean, I couldn't believe how bad everyone was. It's just like it's just like we've all put like everyone here needs a helmet. Like,
oh dear,
we're just in trouble. We're like none of us can walk straight, and it was just like this is so bad. So I think everyone had been like punch drunk before they started playing it or something. I don't know. It was
highly possible.
Yeah, I was bad and I was the best. So I don't think I'll be going back into Paladins anytime soon. So that's what I've been playing.
Huh. Interesting how an online game like that, and I'm not trying to defend Paladins. I actually have heard it's been pretty popular for some time now.
Okay.
But how one match can shape an entire opinion. Like,
yeah,
maybe there's. I mean, I'm sure there's incredibly high level players out there too.
Oh yeah.
Even on Switch. But it's just interesting how even one match can shape someone's opinion of it. It's cool.
When you know you're bad at a game and you're the best, it's just like, okay, what's the point in getting better?
Right.
There's no point. Like that's why I still enjoy Fortnite every once in a while. I'm bad at it and I get destroyed, and that's fine.
Yeah.
So whatever.
That's
all right.
funny.
So that's what I've been playing.
Okay. I've been playing several games actually. Finished Spider-Man on PS4. Fun game. I don't know if I'll spend too much more time in that world, but it was fun. I don't think I'll 100% it, but it was a nice story. I mean, kind of like a good Marvel movie, really. And yeah, it was nice. Combat was fun. Swinging around was fun. Also played. Also, we just released. I just released a great new game. No, a game just came out a couple of days ago that I had totally forgotten was coming, and it's Mark of the Ninja. This is a game from
the remastered version.
Yeah, the remastered 2000. I don't even know, 14 maybe. I'm guessing, and so it's an older game, but it was originally on Xbox, and. Did it come to PlayStation? I can't even remember now. Anyway, it's a 2D stealth action ninja game, and it's pretty awesome, actually. I haven't played a ton of it, but even just the first little bit that I played definitely holds up to the high praise that I've heard about the game over and over again over the years. I think I actually own the game on Steam, but of course, like 80% of the games that I own on Steam, I haven't actually played it. So this was my opportunity. This is my opportunity to jump in, and I'm really excited. I think this is a perfect, like many games, perfect for the Switch. So it's very, I could just tell, even from the tutorial areas there, and the mechanics are really solid. The way they teach you the game, the way they show you, the way it's designed, to make you kind of think through each room and where the guards are, and you know how you eliminate them, or if you choose not to eliminate them, if you just decide to go through and be sort of a pacifist, you have that option. So Mark of the Ninja, definitely recommended. It's the remastered version, just came out of Switch. I think it's $20 now, and totally worth your money. I also found on the Switch store there was Overcooked for like $10. So I've kind of had my eye on that for some time now, and so I grabbed that. And a friend of mine and we played it the other day. That was my first time actually playing the game. Super fun. Cool. We found that, and I don't know if it's balanced for each number of players. We found that some of the levels got pretty hard as we went along, and it seems like, oh man, if we just had a third person, or if we just had, obviously it's designed for up to 4. If we had 4 people, that could have made that much easier. Yeah, that too could have gotten a lot harder as well. I can think of one level particularly that would be very difficult with 4 people, and it was one that's the entire kitchen was one giant rectangle, and there was like a perimeter rectangle around that. So like in order to be effective, you had to keep running in circles around this rectangle, going in, and you'd stop and you'd chop vegetables, and then you'd like grab it and move it over to the thing, and you just keep going in this big loop because if you tried to turn around, there wasn't enough space for you to get by another person. So you had it was this big.
I'm so excited to play Overcooked or Overcooked 2, and I think I'll probably get that over Christmas break. But I'm glad to hear that you're liking it, because that just confirms that I should get it. So
It's really fun. The creativity that goes into each of these levels, they're so bizarre, but they're hilarious and they're fun. And I just remember at one point my friend and I were playing, and we were on there's 3 different trucks going out, and we got separated from the other truck. And something started burning over there, and the whole kitchen on that side just burst into flames. The whole, every station, every part of the thing, and there's absolutely nothing we could do about it. So we're just sitting there watching the world burn until we could get over there. We just sat there and laughed. Oh, it was great. So Overcooked is fun. Go play it. Also been playing some Quantum Break on my Xbox. It's one of the new games that came out on Xbox Game Pass about a month ago, and that's a super cool game because it's a sort of a third-person action shooter narrative experience. But the hook from that game, of course, if you remember, is that it mixes gameplay with an actual live-action TV series drama, and so you kind of go back and forth act by act, and the decisions that you make in the game affect which scenes from the TV show that you see. But all of the characters in the game are modeled after their real life counterparts in the TV show. So it's all just a continuation. But I will say, the production values on the TV show aren't skyrocketing high. Right. But they're decent. Yeah, and it's a really interesting concept. And it's a shame that the game didn't sell better than it did, because I would really love to see somebody else do something like that, or take that idea further. I think it would be I think it'd be pretty cool. So that's Quantum Break. Fun game, though. I'm probably about halfway through. Looking forward to kind of finishing that up. And then, of course, more Zelda. Still playing Zelda. Just played another hour or so today. Just still plucking along there. I'm starting to...
You got past the first Divine Beast, right?
That's right. Okay. Yes, I did. Still plucking away at Korok seeds, and I'm finally starting to get more assertive about finishing off the the Champions Ballad DLC shrines. There's one of them that I can't find. I can't find the entrance to it at the moment. I'm really struggling with that. I keep going back to the same area, but I'll come back to it. I'll figure it out. It's one of the ones in the fire area. And then just continuing to upgrade my gear and stuff. And I just really like traveling around and visiting, some of my favorite places in that game are just the towns, the villages. There's something about them. You just go back and you just see the people. You read the conversations that you've read 20 times already, but it's okay. But just the charm, like Lurelin Village down on the southern coast there.
That was the last one I found. That was
Oh, really?
Yeah. And such a great place.
Beautiful place. There's so many amazing sunsets right there. So many amazing sunsets. It's just a quiet, peaceful fishing town. Places like that just really remind me, I'll go for a week or two, maybe even 3 without, well, that's not true. I'll go for more than a week without playing Zelda or something. and I'll be thinking, maybe I'll just take even a longer break, or am I gonna have a hard, if I boot up Zelda again, am I gonna have a hard time getting back into it after been playing so much Spider-Man, so much other things, whatever. And just 30 seconds into that, I hear the musical cues. I come to a place like the village. I see the wildlife, and I'm just oh, I'm in. I'm so here right now. This is so where I want to be right now. And it's the best game. I just love that world so much, and I as much as I'm completing things. I don't really want it to end.
Yeah. I'm excited for you to finish it sometime in the next decade. So
yeah, we'll get there.
Such a good game. So sweet. All right. Well, we've got one more segment coming up, and this is a great one. This is our soundtrack review of Mario Galaxy. So stick around for that right after the break.
All right.
Time for some Super Mario Galaxy review of their soundtrack. What an incredible game. And the soundtrack maybe equals it, and it's maybe one of the best games of all time.
Maybe.
Does the soundtrack equal it? I might surpass it. I don't know.
I don't even know. It's tough.
It's
really
so
tough.
good. So good. Right now we're listening to the staff roll, which is probably the best version of the most epic version of the opening theme restated. So
yeah, there's an overture, but it's just kind of the short version of this.
Yeah. So.
And this goes into several other tunes that we're gonna be talking about. By the way, if you're just joining us for this portion of it, we are the Nintendo Directors. I'm Brad, and then this is Mark Lego. And
you should listen to the rest of the episode too.
You should listen to the rest of the episode.
But if you don't want to, I'm glad you're at least here for this.
It's all good. So yeah, we got several tunes to go through today, and we're very excited because spoilers, we like this soundtrack.
It's so good.
It's very, very good.
It's a supremely yummy soundtrack.
Yeah, delicious.
Yes.
Even. Yes. So why don't we kind of jump right into it here? So the whole game, Mario Galaxy, starts off with the Star Festival, and Mario and his friends are out there having a good time with the Toads and whatnot. And then something happens.
Yes, something
indeed
happens. This happens. I'll be ready on the click now. Yes. The reprise.
Have you heard that before?
Oh man. In Gustav Holst's planet.
That's right.
Planets, no, not Mars, but kind of.
Kind of.
This was originally used in which game, Brad?
Super Mario Bros. 3.
Yes.
Anytime you had the airships. That's right. Although clearly inspired by Gustav Holst's Mars for the planets. So, but yeah, just a little different rhythmic ostinato pattern that goes along there. It's kind of cool, and it's used really well for this. It's kind of like epic music for an 8-bit game.
It is. And then when you got to this part in Mario Galaxy, you like this. The opening cinematic was beautiful, and you get to this part, and you start to realize what this game is going to be. Like the experience, the journey you're about to go on, and this sets the mood. It sets the table beautifully. I'm hungry. Awesome. I keep talking about food and tables, but so I love that part of the game. And then this was one that is another reprisal of an old Mario tune. This was from Mario 64 originally.
Correct.
This was originally called Koopa's Road or Bowser's Road.
Right.
And in this, it was for Bowser's Star Reactor, and it's great.
So how do they update this for the new game?
You've got more authentic voice patch right there.
That's true.
Still a lot of it, because my video game cover band did an arrangement of this.
Okay.
And a lot of the stuff is in there. They add just a lot of different sounds, but it's largely the same.
Very similar. Yeah, generally throughout this whole soundtrack, I mean, they make fantastic use of full live orchestra. Yeah. But for this one, it's more synthesized and stuff. So,
yep. You still have that like boom whacker in the background.
Right.
It's still there. It's a great piece of music, and I actually like the rendition of this from Mario Galaxy 2 better than this one.
Okay.
But that one is truly epic, but this is still fantastic.
And that's for another day.
There it is. Yeah, we could do Mario Galaxy soundtracks.
Awesome.
For every episode, but
now we get into the really cool stuff. If you remember Bowie Base Galaxy, this is not only a fantastic level, but I mean, they're equally as good as the soundtrack.
Yeah.
This is great. Go ahead and start it.
Bowie Base. Oh, this...
Such an epic start to that.
You arrive here, and that was, for me, the first time I realized that I was, like, this is something different.
Special.
This is truly special.
Yeah.
And this level is one of the best levels of all time. Really, but it stands up to any Odyssey level, 3D World, Galaxy 2. This is just mastery.
Excellent.
This music is...
What I love about this specific tune is that it has a great mix of electronic sounds and the full orchestral live musicians behind it. You can hear there's some great brass parts going on right now, but it's in that percussion ostinato underneath there, and then this
it's like Star Trek. This is total Star Trek to me.
Right. But But yeah, that's those synthesized sounds that just kind of floating on top of it. It's a great mix of like tension and the doom, 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 and then just this floating above that.
Yep.
It's really, really pretty. Very relaxing, but then that, faster accompaniment.
I could listen to this one for the rest of the review while we talk about other pieces. But
Right. That might not be helpful for the listeners.
might not be helpful for the listeners. Oh,
Yeah.
man. Great trumpet writing. All
Yeah,
right.
the composer was not, in general on this soundtrack, the composer was not very nice to the trumpet players. And the next one we're going to talk about has some wicked high parts. And
Yes, it does. So we'll move on, although it pains me to do so. But
Right.
the only thing that would make that okay is going on to this next piece.
which is by far the best.
By
May-
far? But, okay.
Okay. But,
I'll say it's the best.
all right. It's
Bowie
the
Bass
best.
is so good, though. But
It's
this is probably the best.
It's Gusty Garden.
It's Gusty Garden, and it's amazing.
I would venture to say this is probably my favorite piece from a Mario game, period.
Yeah.
This is, paired with what you're doing in that level.
Yeah.
It's very
It's hard
epic.
to argue that.
You have that awesome fanfare in the beginning, and then you've got a great pairing of guitar with orchestra,
It's awesome.
which I've never really heard outside of like a soloist playing,
Yeah.
right? But actually having that accompaniment rhythm with that guitar, and then you have again just kind of that pairing of the fast accompaniment, and then this just soaring melody in the top there.
Couldn't be better for what this game is. And if you're getting to this point of our review of this, and you're thinking to yourself, I totally disagree, you probably don't want to listen to us ever again, and we probably don't want you to listen to us, because we're definitely totally opposite kinds of people. This is masterful writing, and I do want to show one extra rendition of this done by good friends of mine, the Super Guitar Bros from Detroit, Michigan, and they did Gusty Garden on one of their albums. You can download that online.
Two guitarists,
yeah. You can see this video on a easy, quick YouTube search, just Gusty Garden, Super Guitar Bros. But yeah, I've seen them play this live, and they are note perfect with this. It's just wonderful.
Excellent.
So great piece of music. But all right, change of pace.
Yeah, something a little different,
Yeah.
which is kind of what this music is all about. Because whenever you get off these highs of these incredible levels that you're playing, and you come back to home base, if you will, the observatory, this is what you get to hear. And I distinctly remember with this it's the observatory theme, but there's different versions of it.
Yep.
And I distinctly remember my mind being blown when I first realized, like, when I was like 80-90% through the game, that it had changed, because I didn't even notice it.
Right.
You see,
Power up the observatory, and it.
right, and as it gets more powerful, the music gets more complex. It adds layers, and this is the final version of it. We didn't even think to pull up the other ones, but like this is a beautiful melody, just so carefree, and it really sets the mood for what you're doing there. It's just this overworld where you don't have to worry about anything coming to attack you or anything. It's just laid back. And
You have that nice waltz section at the beginning, and now this is much more flowing right here, and
well, it's still a waltz,
it's
but
still a waltz, but yes, but
it starts to build. But this is the full orchestral version, whereas I think the second version's just got like a nice cello in there.
Yeah.
And then the first theme is very, very sparse. There's some great counter writing in there.
Beautiful. While we're on the theme of waltzes, let's get into a very tipsy waltz, the waltz of the booze.
Until you said that today, I did not even put those two together.
It's a very tipsy waltz. The waltz of the booze, but as in BOOS.
Right.
Not the beverages. This is
This is great because it like perfectly executes like the faux spooky waltz.
Yes.
Like it's
Yes.
not actually supposed to be sinister or
Right.
scary or anything, but it's got that kind of tinge of like
it's a little creepy.
a little creepy, yeah. Which is what a boo is really, right?
Yeah.
I mean, what
They're not terrifying
until you turn around.
until you turn around, and then you start to panic.
That's right.
But
Even from the very, early Mario games, they always kind of creep me out. But yeah, so it's great
that.
use of this minor mode. And then there's this B section in a little bit that has this violin part that's very,
that's right.
very different if we kind of wait it out here. But just a simple, hummable melody. And here's that.
That's nice. I had totally forgot about this part of this.
Right, but it's a totally different style.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I might, with Halloween fast approaching, I might have to play this as the students walk in to my class soon, but this is great.
So there's the Waltz of the Booze.
Wonderful. Waltz of the Booze. We got one more. Two more.
Well, 1.5.
1.5. Yeah.
Right.
Yes, I know.
Mark insisted that we put this one in.
Yeah.
That's all right. Mostly the very beginning because of the fantastic use of a French horn rip.
Oh, it's great.
There it is.
I love it. This is Bowser's Galaxy Reactor, not his Star Reactor.
Right.
This is right near the end of the game.
Very much.
Very epic music.
Fantastic level, by the way.
Oh.
The gravity's constantly switching. There's
Yeah. If Bowie Bass is perfection, this is a mirror of perfection. It's
a mirror of perfection.
It's just such a good level.
Like Cold Stone Ice Cream. Just a mirror of perfection.
Is that it? Is that what they say?
I don't know.
Okay, you're a fan of Cold Stone.
I'm a big fan of Cold Stone, yeah.
All right. So that's kind of where we're going with this, but why don't we bring back up as we
the staff roll. Let's actually maybe jump to the end of the staff roll. This is obviously when the credits are going, but it does a great reprise of a lot of the tunes. In fact, here's some of the Gusty Garden in a slow style, and then it builds up.
Yep. Ah, this game.
Yeah, these soundtrack reviews are tough because as soon as I hear this music and I focus on it, I'm like, dang, I want to go play that.
Yeah.
I can't play it on Switch right now, so that's a problem.
Yep. So Nintendo, get on the stick, get it done. Bring both the Galaxies to the Switch.
Mr. Nintendo, just along with Metroid, by the way.
Yeah.
We still need that.
Yeah.
But we got only a couple seconds left. No, it's got. So anyway, if you were to give this review a score, Mark, how would you rank it?
How about we go 39 quadrillion galaxies out of one universe? Like, let's just call it that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's pretty close, right?
Yeah, I think that's about all of it.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not. I don't know, but we think very highly.
Definitely.
Of this, so.
Yes.
Cool.
Quadrillion. Hey, thanks so much for listening, everyone. If you have thoughts about this soundtrack specifically, or other soundtracks you'd like us to give our impressions on, write us at NintendoDirectorsPodcast@gmail.com. We'd love to interact with you a little bit, or find us on Twitter _directors. Once again, we are the Nintendo Directors. We have our podcast that releases every other week, every other Thursday, usually around 9 a.m. ish. And so we'd love for you to check us out there. And thanks for listening.
Thank you. See ya.
We didn't say anything about Dusty Diamond. Well, we can still fix that. Here's what we need to do. When you're editing the show, just record yourself saying,
Dusty Diamond. Now it's in there.